Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? NoZoupForYou here, and I am thoroughly confused right now. Well, I'm not that confused. I mean, we all saw this coming. I mean, after yesterday's video about the land of stupid, and saying that no one out there said or says what this game needs are more aircraft in the air. Just after I said that, it's like Wargaming says, hey, hold my beer. Guess what I've got here for you? Just when I thought the land of stupid couldn't get any stupider, we've got Russian aircraft carriers announced and in testing. And I know we all saw this coming. We've known these have been coming for a long time. But the timing of this, I mean, it's just... Oh, come on, really? Guys, Wargaming, are you even listening to the player base right now? I mean, I'm sure these are going to be a giant hit in Russia. I would imagine that players there want these ships that, for all intent and purposes, never existed. I mean, Russia's got like, what, one aircraft carrier right now, and it already caught fire once. I mean, these are all paper ships, more paper ships, but I mean, they have to be. That's the only way to get these into the game because, again, aircraft carriers and aircraft have, well, I take that back. Aircraft are kind of one of Russia's fortes. The MiGs are pretty good, but aircraft carriers, never really Russia's forte. Never really their naval forte. In fact, the Navy was never really Russia's forte. Yes, the submarine force. Yes, the Navy moving into the Cold War. But during World War II and prior to that, not at all. So here we are. The dev blog has announced that we've got Russian aircraft carriers coming to the game. They're here. They're on their way. And oh, they're going to be amazing with all kinds of gimmicks to set them apart from all the other aircraft carriers. And I'm going to go through it right now. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it just because, you know, that's what I got to do, right? I got to talk about something. So I'm probably going to butcher the names of these aircraft carriers, and I really don't care because they're aircraft carriers and... Oh my gosh, so here we have at Tier 4 the Consumable, at Tier 6 the Serov, at Tier 8 the Pobeda. That sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it, that name? I feel like we've had a ship like that before, Pobeda. And Tier 10 the Admiral Nakhimov. Isn't that a formidable name right there, the Admiral Nakhimov? So, it also looks like there's going to be one premium ship released as well, the Tier 8 Shkolov. And again, it has pretty cool camouflage, but again, I'm probably butchering these names. It's all good. I'm not Russian, so I don't expect me to speak Russian. Anyhow, the devblog says the key features of the Soviet aircraft carriers are each squadron consists of only one attacking flight. Soviet aircraft carriers have a small number of aircraft in their squadrons, reaching up to 8 planes at Tier 10. So you're not going to have a massive squadron of like 20 planes like the FDR or anything like that. They're going to be a lot smaller. Beginning at Tier 8, planes are equipped with rocket boosters, similar to Tone and Issei. And again, is it ICE or is it Issei? Do I care? I don't know. Rocket boosters are automatically activated during takeoff and give a short-term increase in speed. There's your gimmick, ladies and gentlemen. We knew there was going to be a gimmick somewhere. We didn't know what it was going to be. There's one of the gimmicks. You get a nice little speed boost when you launch your planes because, I mean, we all know that World War II aircraft had turbo on them. They had nitro, right? All these pilots were fast and furiousing they're punching that nitro and boosting off into the air. So there's your gimmick. Great, right? All planes have a small amount of HP and low cruise speed. Okay, so again, I don't know how that's going to work with only 8 planes in a squadron, but maybe they're going to fly super fast. Who knows? Maybe the gimmick's going to be that they have stealth cloaking capability, because we all know that existed in World War II, right? Oh, boy. Alright, the Repair Squadron Consumable is available to Pobeda's torpedo bombers and to all of Admiral Nakamov's squadrons. So, if you fancy yourself as a bomber, or if you fancy yourself more as just harassing destroyers with rockets, you'll be able to repair those squadrons. So, if you want to keep your planes up even longer and spot destroyers, you'll be able to do that with HE once you get to Tier 10. Torpedoes carried by torpedo bombers have long range and long arming time. So, that means most likely you're going to have to drop from further out, but they're going to run a lot longer than normal. Attack aircraft on tiers 8 and 10 are armed with HE rockets, the equivalent of the US Tiny Tims. However, being HE rockets, I have a sneaking suspicion that they're probably going to have a high fire rate. I can just see that. A tier 4 Consumable has standard aircraft types, starting with Tier 6. Soviet aircraft carriers carry skip bombers with HE bombs instead of standard dive bombers. Yay, skip bombers. More things that we saw quite often in World War II. This makes absolute sense. So, it looks like the Emmelman was just a test bed for Russian carriers at this point. Also, good ship concealment. Don't know how good, but that's what it says. So, Wargaming goes on to say, the concept of the branch: one squadron, one attack. To play effectively, squadrons will need to make a lot of brief flights at short to medium range due to their low cruise speed. This is helped by the good concealment of the ships and the presence of rocket boosters on the planes. So these are going to be quick hit and run type of things. The French destroyers of aircraft, if you will. Squadrons are vulnerable to AA due to their low hit points, and each lost plane reduces the total damage that can be dealt to the enemy. The new ship's skip bombers and torpedo bombers can use their long range to avoid staying too long in the enemy AA zone. However, in this case, it'll be easier for enemy ships to evade attack. And there you have it. That is the concept. So, you only put one squadron in the air, but all your planes attack at once. So by the time you get to Tier 8, or Tier 10, what did it say? You have 8 planes, all 8 planes are going to be attacking. So theoretically, I guess they're going to be dropping 8 torpedoes at range, and, you know, that's going to kind of annoy destroyers and other people hiding in smoke, but I guess if you like that type of gameplay, you know, there you go, good on you. That'll be interesting. Moving on to the premium Soviet aircraft carrier, Shkhalov, a fast-moving large aircraft carrier based on Project 71B of the late 1930s. It's armed with aviation similar to the researchable Soviet Tier 10 aircraft carrier Admiral Nakamov. Each squadron consists of only 6 planes. The ship is also distinguished from other Soviet carriers by its available selection of squadrons, torpedo bombers, skip bombers, and dive bombers, so you don't get the Tiny Tim equivalent. The Shkhalov is best used for dealing damage to low mobility targets and supporting allies in the fight for key areas. And it does give ship characteristics for each of them, so, you know, if you want to know that for the dev blog, please go ahead and check it out. I mean, it's a lot of stuff to decipher through, but, you know, maybe I'll go deeper into this. I haven't completely reviewed all the ship stats, again, because there is a lot of information here, but I'm sure some people have, some will, and I'm sure they're going to find something that's just really kind of crazy or bizarre in there. I don't know. But just looking over this, you know, I mentioned the HE, and just looking at the Admiral Nakamov, talking about the HE rocket planes, the rockets in the payload, there's 4. With a maximum rocket damage of 4,750 with an armor penetration of 40 millimeters. Now, if you've got 8 of those planes, firing 4 rockets apiece, because, like they said, it's 1 squadron, all planes attack, right? That's a lot of potential damage. And not only that, as I suspected, it says chance to cause fire, 27%. That is an extremely large chance of causing a fire. That's basically the equivalent of a Conqueror firing, even though their fire chance is even higher. You've got a lot of rockets, though. So, imagine that. You're in a destroyer. It's late game. You've got half health. All this aircraft carrier has to do is launch his frickin' booster, his nitrous booster. He'll find you in 0 time flat, and, you know, thank God they're changing the mechanics for these type of attacks, so that at least, you know, you have the gun splashes before the rockets fire, so you know where to evade. But when you've got that many rockets flying towards you, I mean, I can imagine this being a pain for all ships. I guess we'll know more when these things start getting tested. Guess we'll have to just keep our eye open. But, you know, I'm pretty certain that this is the last thing players wanted to see in the game right now. I don't think any player out there wanted to see more aircraft carriers, more airplanes, more gimmicky airplanes, and everything else. I mean, even if it's balanced, these things could probably be totally balanced, and players are still not going to be too happy about that. But that's the game we live in right now. Aircraft carriers, aircraft, aircraft, aircraft. More aircraft. I mean, you know, I railed about the Kearsarge yesterday. Even more aircraft. So, you know, you could theoretically... And, you know, I've seen matchmaking. Matchmaking doesn't know how to separate things smartly. I was in a ranked game yesterday. One side had 2 Fusos, and the other side had 2 Isseis. Rices. Whatever the hell we want to call them. It's like, could matchmaking not really have just, you know, put 1 of each on each team? I mean, it's not that hard. So what's going to happen, you're going to have a division of 3 Kearsarges working together with their aircraft to absolutely murder destroyers, while you've got these planes launching their little booster fighters, and yeah. It's going to be fun, right? It's going to be fun. I want to know your thoughts on this, on Russian aircraft carriers, what you think, and what you think about the way the World of Warships is headed with all these airplanes. I mean, I suspect I know, and, you know, once again, I'm not an aircraft carrier hater, not a lover, I'm just kind of there in the middle. I mean, they're there, and I'm never going away, but I think they should be used in moderation, and we're not seeing that right now. Anyhow, hope you all are doing well. Take it easy. Zoop out.